everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one, I'm going to talk about the Apollo Creed prize wall, in particular, the new plates, maybe strategies that you might use. I do want to start with a caveat. I have no way of predicting the future. Also, with we have what? Probably almost 500 superstars in the game. I have no way of knowing what is going to work on everyone with 6 different plates of the MP plates coming in at once and 6 of the swipe plates at once. So, entirely possible. In fact, I will go flat out say I'll overlook something in this for sure. So, keep that in mind. Really, though, a lot of people have expressed major concern, like they don't know what to do. They're very anxious about it. Myself, I was feeling pretty anxious about having to make a decision too, so I get that. Um, that took care of itself for me. You can see I have exactly 2 speed bags left. I went with Apollo, and if you only have enough to get one thing and it's Apollo, don't get anything other than Apollo. His training ability 150% bleed. The next best training bleed in the game is 66%. That's more than a 2 times increase or power creep in one trainer in one go. Typically, you see something go from like 25 to 50%. Uh, not even, right? You might see a bleed like Seth went from whatever it was. The other bleed, Scott Steiner does 65% and 2 yellow MP. This large of an increase is like very large. Uh, so it's incredibly good on multiple bleed people now and later. Um, so if you only get, what was it, 700 speed bags, make sure you get Apollo. The moment I do want to talk about shortly, because for me, I feel like it was the right choice. For a lot of you, 4 plates of the MP plates, or maybe a swipe plate and 2 regulars, might be a better choice. For me, I felt like the moment was better. I will explain why, and you can see if that fits for you. So my Sheik plate, I have one, lives on Tech Sammy, who I absolutely love using. The more you like using someone, the more likely you are to play them. No desire to take the Sheik plate off of him whatsoever. So even though I love triple green on Rocky, 76, I actually don't have him on my roster yet because I haven't recruited. Anyway, even though I love triple green on Rocky, I don't want to run him that way. Simply because then you don't have to use a Sheik, but it makes it much better. So the reason the moment's great for me, you can see I've leveled it to 25. Once I recruit Rocky, I'm going to take it up all the way. If you're taking it, make sure you realize you're going to need shards. I had enough Mr. T ones to max it at 25. Only 5 more levels to go. I won't have to dip into Clubber too much. But I purposefully bought the $20 offer on top of the original offer and saved his shards so I'd have them for the moment to be able to level it. So keep that in mind. The reason, though, why I like the moment is it adds 100% black gem damage, which is going to help Rocky's gem damage build, whether you want to go with the stun or whether you want to go like triple black drip plate, whatever you want to do. This works across all game modes, including boss battle. The extra Juggernaut gem makes sure Apollo is going to like pin himself essentially every time, because he goes to 21 on the pin bar instead of 14, even though 14 is almost always enough. Multiply gems and strength increased by 1 opens up the gem damage build even more for Clubber, along with creating 4 more gems, and of course he's spamming the board with black gems. So if you want to go a different route than the move damage, if you have better metals, that kind of thing, if your Sheik plate's tied up, if you don't have a Sheik plate, if you want to run the stun build with Rocky, if you want to run the blow up the board big finisher with Clubber, this moment is great for them, and it's across all game modes. So that's the reason I feel like for me and my roster, the moment had the second best value. That probably doesn't apply for everyone. So keep that in mind. Now that that's covered, those to me are the top 2 things, but Apollo first, above all else. Next, the plates. So these plates, keep in mind, you have to break 4 of a specific color, and then 10 random gems turn to the specific color. In this case, it's 4 red and 10 random black. That's at the end of your turn. These don't work on pin bar moves till after you swipe. So if it's a no pin bar move and you use this, they're not going to help you at all. So if you're thinking about using these on no pin bar guys, it doesn't help until their turn is already given up, and that means you're going to move the pin bar. So these to me right now are more as like a nice to have. Like, so let's say you have somebody and you want to get a little bit more damage out of them by breaking things on the board. Okay, it adds a little bit. More where I see them being better is if you really love using somebody and they hit really hard, but once in a while they miss, like keeping somebody down and they don't recycle. If one of these worked out, like, you know, you you had green moves that weren't getting or black moves that weren't getting refilled on your finisher, but you were breaking green gems, then a plate like this would be really good. One exception to that, HD brought this up to me, Deafening Silence. If you're a Tech Becky user with an USO cap plate, this is a very good ultimate plate, but you also need an ultimate strap for these. So this one on Tech Becky, where she's breaking a bunch of black gems, getting silence gems out, and then once she gave up her turn, it would fill even more green gems with the USO cap plate as buffing onto the silence gems, etc. So that's actually a super good shout. So if you're a Tech Becky user with an ultimate, I think Deafening Silence would be actually make a big difference for her. So thanks HD for that. Otherwise, most of these I think is mainly to help recycling. So you're going to know better than I what's on your roster of somebody you like to use that sometimes doesn't recycle and needs to, whether you might want to get one of those. For the most part, I think these MP plates are probably long term, most of the time, going to be more useful. However, I'm sorry, I need to take a drink. If you think about it now, other than like Dom and La Familia, how many people need an MP plate to really take them to another level? Most of the time, it just helps a little bit. Every once in a while, it's really important, but I know a lot of times when I do previews and look at plates, very often I'm not using the MP plates anymore. I'm using stuff that buffs damage and that kind of thing. So while you're stressed, while you might not know what to do, try not to freak out too much because honestly, 2 weeks from now, they can put somebody in the game. One of these plates will be amazing for them, and there's no way you could have known that. And there's no way I can predict that. So what I will try to do though is cover a few things that could potentially make a difference. So Eye of the Tiger. When you break 3 or more red gems, gain 3 black MP. Uh, this is probably one of the most impactful ones to a card all of you have. Ghostbuster Cena. In particular, if you do not have Ghostbuster Cena or 17K Santa Hogan, this allows you the potential to possibly get some turn 1 wins in feud with Ghostbuster Cena. What do you mean, Mherex? Well, I'll show you. So, normal Ghostbuster Cena setup, countdown gems, bonus damage, and then the choose move. If you have 17K Santa, you can put Ridge on, Black MP, all that jazz, and you can smoke people turn 1 no problem, right? You can already do that. But if you don't have 17K Santa, you have to use dual black MP trainers. So if you're somebody out there using dual black MP trainers, or you just can't get the choose on turn 1 period and do enough damage, this plate might be for you. So you would put your dual black MP trainers, Tech Cena, and that would do, you'd throw this out, you'd hit this move, and you do, it's like 2 million-ish damage, right? Then you do your choose a 5 match of red. It would fill the black up and the red. Put 4 more gems out. Now you got 8. You're hitting for like 4 million. You've done 6 million total. Swipe. You're going to do another 2. Put these out. Hit this. Do another 2 million. You're up to 8 million total. And then you're going to pin them. So if anyone has less than 8 million health, you can completely drain them on turn 1 that way. Plus there's the move damage and stuff. You can maybe push into the 9 million mark. If you don't have 17K Santa, but you do have Zombie Rhea, that goes up quite a bit, 35% more. So you're basically doing 3 million on the first one, 6 million on the second one. Now you're up to 9, 12 million on the last. You've drained most of your opponents at 12 million. And then you swipe for the easy win. So Tech Cena and Zombie Rhea, if you don't have 17K Santa and the plate, can make a huge difference for Cena. So there's that. Also, one that a lot of people have that it can help is Corbin. In particular, again, if you don't have 17k Santa on your Corbin. Uh, so this moveset is the normal one for feud, right? And I run 2 MP trainers if I don't want to run Santa. So the Dream Crusher like isn't full, so or any of that. It's at like 6 MP. Um, you can with plate red to black, you can break red instead of black to fill your spine buster. Because what you do is you destroy 4 black gems so that you load the sub. Then you click the sub, and next turn both of these are loaded. But sometimes the black gems aren't in a spot where you're not going to cascade, and then every once in a blue moon you just don't have 4 black gems. So in those cases, with the plate that goes red to black, it gives you the option to destroy 3 red gems and 1 black gem. So if the red gems are in a more friendly place, or if you don't have the black gems, it just makes it more versatile, and then he's completely loaded after the sub either way. So another nice feature with Corbin. Of course, if you have 17k Santa, you can break 1 and fill the sub. You're still breaking 4 though, so it really doesn't make Santa doesn't typically make a difference on Corbin. I don't put him on there anymore personally. Other thing you can do is use the other plate as long as we're talking about it, the reverse one, um, which is although Corbin doesn't really need trainers, right? But you could do the last known survivor as long as we're on Corbin. I won't talk about this on the last known survivor, which is black to red. And you can put that on, and you can just destroy, your 4 black gems. It's going to give you 3 red. You can get rid of an MP trainer and destroy a couple more red if you want to go that route. You can do that too. So there's actually 2 plates that are decent for him. Also, Eye of the Tiger, NWO Hogan, if you want to recycle a little bit easier, his move charge is high, so I don't know how much it'll help. But he does have a no-move pin bar, so it could potentially make recycling with NWO Hogan easier. Choose 5 gems to make into red. The pin bar will not move. It's 8 MP, so it can be hard to refill. Getting 3 extra black MP with the pin bar not moving can be helpful for recycling him. Those are kind of the 3 big ones that we talked about on stream that people have brought up. I am sure there are more. You could use it. Yeah. So I think that's probably it for Eye of the Tiger now. That maybe helps you make a decision there. Again, there's a bunch of others that it can potentially help. You're going to know better than me who you actually use. The point I'm trying to get is a lot of them aren't massively game breaking. It just makes things a little bit easier. Okay. Thrill of the Fight. Green to black. This one is pretty interesting. I do not have Striker Cody. This should be really good on Striker Cody. Some other good shouts that people had. Acro Edge, if you run this move set and like to sub with him because it's low charge. And I'm trying to give some examples, guys, in case there's somebody you use. So personally, I wouldn't take Acro Edge to 6-star, but let's say you love him. This move set. When you're leaving your subs, leave that snowfalls that make green, right? So now if your green is giving you black, you don't need to destroy as many black to reload the black. Basically, the green to black is going to help you very easily keep your sub and all of his moves loaded all the time. Not that it's super hard anyway, but that way you can really focus on putting your submission trainers on him. And really, he doesn't need a plate with this moveset if you're focusing subs with him. So very useful, I would say, on Edge. If so you took him 6-star and you want to like chain sub people, the green to black one, the Thrill of the Fight. Hall of Fame X-Pac. I use Bad Attitude, but in place of Bad Attitude, you could always put this on Hall of Fame X-Pac for triple black if for some reason you preferred that. I don't think you need to. Like I said, Bad Attitude works. You just destroy 3 blue and get 3 black, but you absolutely could use it on him. The other thing is, yeah. So that just gives you a different option instead of blue. So let's say you love Tech Becky. You have her gear, but you don't have an Uso cap plate. this would make it a lot probably easier because you could get multiple ones of these off potentially with green to black because you go with the choose green and then you have 10 silence into green, right? So you're gonna get those. You wouldn't have to necessarily use the calf kick. You could kind of go triple black and go green to black, get a bunch of silence out, choose greens, turn them all green again. You should be refilling because you're doing multiple things to proc the plate each turn. So if you don't have a Z plate and you really love Tech Becky and you have her gear and you took her 6-star and you want her damage to be better, you could think about it at that point for sure going triple black with this plate. uh, Zombie Taker, maybe? If you're somebody that runs Zombie Taker, I mean, sometimes he can whiff on his trap gems, or let's say you want to run him with the drip plate, looking at UHD. Um, if the, you could do, run a couple black moves, get the drip plate to proc a couple times, then you're making the board green, and you want to start refilling your moves. Okay, you have that option, right? Of course, if you're using a drip plate, you can't use this plate because they're both the same basic one. But I guess it potentially could help recycle a little if your trap gems don't match up, especially in feud these days where you don't have matchy match perks anymore. So let's say you only get 3 to match up and you get 3 black MP. Then when you blow the board up and turn green, you get your other 3. So it can help with recycling as well, potentially. That's about what I have for Thrill of the Fight. Rising Up, yellow to black. So originally I thought very much Apollo on this one, and I think I've kind of rethought it based on how I play him. Where you at, Apollo? That's right, I put some coin into you today. So you moved up here. I just don't know where. Probably should just go to Showboat at this point, because I'm blind anyway. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That was much faster. So originally, I was thinking for like this move set here, because I like the trap gems, that you could choose this and get one more of these off when you're choosing the swap to yellow at the end after you've already drained all their black MP. The problem is, though, at the end, after you've already drained all their black MP, I like using the choose move to pick a huge area of the trap gems, and it essentially works like a mini finisher and helps him hit harder. And if you've drained most of their life but not all of it, that's very important. So I've actually kind of backed off that, and don't think I like that as much for him anymore for the way I would run the move set thinking about it. You could still use it for sure. Um, I suppose, if you think of a way you want to use it. I just don't think it was as good on him as I originally thought it would be because of the way I'm using this move. So there's that. Yellow to black. Interesting on Striker Shayna, especially if you want to do kick out style builds because her kick out is super nasty, and that would help her refill the kick out like during subs, and you can kick out of a sub. And also, she's got a choose color submission, choose yellow gems, which helps refill it. She doesn't tend to have a hard time getting the black because the armbar here leaves snowfall gems that turn a ton of them that turn everything into black. But if you kind of want to go with a extra douchey defensive build and you like using this kick out because it's fun, because the base damage at 6-star is massive, 1.7 million, yellow to black would be really helpful for her loading the kick out. So there's that. You could also potentially use the black to yellow and use the choose move, and maybe use the Juggernaut. I don't know. Like, there's just a lot of stuff you could potentially do. Some people, I think, said cross. I happen to like black to yellow better for carrying cross. Interestingly, I know the main way everyone uses Striker Andre, and I want to forget who called this. I forget who called this out on stream, and I looked at it. I'm so sorry. If you're in the comments, remind me. Someone called this out on stream, and it's actually a really good idea. So Striker Andre, everyone uses the the bleed, the destroy, and the green move, right? The big damage. I don't have him yet. The big damage move with heavy machinery. Well, let's say maybe you want to put skill plate somewhere else. Maybe there's even a bleed line bonus. Um, when you put all of the bleed trainers on Striker Andre, assuming you have Apollo, Scott Steiner for 65% bleed, Woods, and Kyrie, all of a sudden this plate, yellow to black, becomes really interesting because you can use it to load the sub while you're destroying to load the bleed and the other yellow move. And basically, came to the conclusion if you don't cascade, you can easily get 4 stacks of the bleed into the sub, which is going to be about 12 million. So if you ever get a bleed line bonus in feud that buffs it more, buffs it bigger, that's just going to go up. If you do cascade a little bit, you're probably looking at 9 million with the sub, and of course it's not necessarily super hard to cycle. So I know that's not his normal move, but I thought it was worth mentioning because it does open up another avenue. Okay, black to yellow, challenge of our rival. This is the one I like for cross, especially if you're running. I'm 60 shards away. Hopefully get them soon. If you're running the yellows, right? Move the pin bar, all this big damage stuff with the stun. Plus, if you're using him defensively, AI is going to target black gems. So really, really actually like black to yellow for cross. If you're a cross user, you might want to think about that one. I haven't like played him since the preview, so you're gonna know better than me. But keep that one in mind. Again, you could also use this one on Shayna, but probably not as good. And then another interesting one maybe is Rhonda at 6-star with the stun. If you want to use the stun build, she has a really cheap yellow move that makes black gems. So you could run the 6 MP, put your sub trainers on, run the cross arm breaker with it, submission, and then the stun. So you hit this, you get 3 of your MP back in yellow. Then you hit the sub to drain them. You got all your sub trainers on, you drain them, hold the stun back. So your next turn you're at 4, they're drained, then you can stun them, and if you haven't gotten a yellow match, you swipe, they're stunned, you're at 5, they still haven't gotten any MP, hopefully, because they're stunned. And then you need one more turn to reload if you can't find a yellow or black match. So I think it makes that more viable potentially for her if you want to run the stun set that way. Just an idea. You could also use the yellow to black and do, and Matthew from Victorious mentioned this to me. You could run triple black, and I didn't mention this on yellow to black. I just remembered it now. You could run triple black and then choose the yellow gems, do a 5 match, and then swipe into a 3 match of black. That's going to get you 6 of your MP back right there. Plus your turn is 7. Hit your sub. You got your stun. You're there. So actually his might be a better shout than mine, to be honest. So you could triple black with her and constantly recycle that. So really interesting on Tech Rhonda actually too. The yellow to black. And so is the challenge of our rival. So, if any of these are overlapping, maybe it makes it more interesting. If you have somebody else you can use these on, there's that. Last known survivor is black to red. I personally didn't have a hard time recycling with the new powerhouse Scott Steiner at triple red. But if you want to run him triple red, of course you have the pyro gems that turn black on the board. You got the bleed, hello Apollo, and the choose 6 gems to destroy. It could also help you if the board doesn't cooperate. You could destroy black gems instead of red to start to keep filling your red up. 1 red, 3 black. So black to red for Scott Steiner if you want to run triple red, for example. Help him recycle. Interesting. I don't think he's really a big deal anymore. I don't think he's viable probably with this build set. But it is interesting and fun. It could potentially be really good for boss battle. And that's Randy Orton. Because he's got 2 1 MP red moves. So like black gems, multiply gems. Orton could kind of just go for days. and would go for days. I don't think you can use him reliably, like in feud or that kind of stuff. But maybe you could do this showdown? Question mark. So let me put the coaches I had on so you could take a look at this, because I do think it's interesting. Where do you go, Sin Cara? Previous. No, I didn't play a match. Yeah, there he is. Good, I did. But I don't have that plate. So you could do something like this, and then if you have Taker, a lot of people got him this last event. So 1 MP, confirm. Both of these are 1 MP. So for 1 MP, you can make 7 random black gems into multiply gems of strength 3, and 8 random gems into black gems. And then, of course, once you match your black at the end, you can also do this one. So that's the complete option for him, for Orton. Also, you can see here, he does have an increase your black MP. I don't know what that goes to at 6-star. So power gems probably aren't big enough to matter, right? So this is probably what you're looking at maybe for boss battle, and just being able to spam these moves over and over because they're all random. So breaking 3 black would load this every time. So it's actually kind of really interesting on him too. And then also on Corbin, pre 6-star, which, you know, if you use Corbin, you should really have him 6-star. But pre 6-star, you're using this move, right? Instead of the destroy, you're using the red to black. And I think sometimes people miss a little bit on the traps. They don't get quite full. So black to red on Corbin would work this way as well. Pre 6-star, and same way at 6-star too, right? To load your black gems or to load your red gems. We talked about it earlier, so I'm just showing it now. So that's a decent one on Corbin as well. I'm sure I'm missing some. And finally, Pray in the Night. This is one I eyeballed right away for Rocker. He doesn't need it now. I use the Tiara. You're never going to need it now, except for maybe boss battle. Um, but who knows what happens at the next tier up. So obviously, this is my boss battle setup. But choose 6 gems to make into black, bonus per black gem, and then, you know, your standard multiply move. Every time, you know, you break 3 black gems, you're going to reload that. So you're going to get a huge net gain, fill your whole board up with black gems. Going to take some time, but going to be nutty. Also would recycle in boss battle really well. Just don't break your multiply gems. Set these on the side away from them, and you could just keep going and going and going. So like when there's black gems or even multiply gems, this one would make Rocker pretty disgusting. If you have Rocker and you care about boss battle, I think this is probably one of them to pick. Probably the one I would pick. If I had any currency left, this probably would have been my first one. Now that I've been thinking about it, and then yeah, I think that would have been my first one, but it's really hard to say. Anyway, also Rocky 76. If you want to run him, it's good for Rocky 76 on the MP steel, and there's some other stuff you could potentially do with that. Acro Edge, it would work too. It's kind of the reverse, like we were talking about with the other one. You choose the black to get green, just makes it a little easier, but I think the other one's better for Acro Edge that way. Those are some big ones that come to mind. I bet you one of these would be good on Stunning Steve, probably. Maybe. He recycles kind of okay, so most of the people does recycle okay, but if you could get Juggernauts down a second time, you really want to be looking at like 1, 2, 3, and maybe even 4 MP guys to get the most use out of these, where you can do a lot. And people with low charge moves is generally where these make the biggest difference. See Acro Dom, right? So be looking for that. Are also people that almost recycle but not quite. So this can make it a quote unquote perfect recycle, if that makes sense. Like Rocker, I have a tiara on him, but maybe I go bad attitude for boss battle instead, because then I can keep chaining it. Just for example, because he'll be one short in boss battle without a swipe. So try and think of it that way. I mean, like, theoretically, black to green, right? Right here. You make your random gems, you keep hitting it, you keep doing your buff. This is just there to drain it. So theoretically, it's not. Is it going to make Ken Shamrock great? No. Will it make him better for tool or for tours? Absolutely. Just as an example, right? So a lot of this stuff, someone old, it's not going to make amazing, but it might make them more usable for say tours. So mostly be looking at newer guys with lower charge moves if you want to try and figure out something that really works. One thing I heard said a lot was almost, um, but if you look, his moves are 4, so that puts you one short. Like red to black would put you one short. You'd have to make a 5 match. So Eternal Positivity is probably the better play. I believe is what Broken said. I was running this for a long time. When I had him back in the day, rocks cooking, break red, get purple. But I guess Eternal Positivity works extremely well on him too. I think that's what Broken said he uses, and he has him 6-star. Um, but I don't like the red to black one on almost. That's one I heard a lot. I think there are easier, better options for plates there. What else? I think that really covers the plates as far as what the somewhat very limited conclusions I've came to on stream. I can't make these choices for you. Please don't ask me which plate you should take, saying you have XYZ. I really can't answer that. You're going to have to make a decision. Try not to stress too much. This has been a long video. I mean, like, I don't know how to condense it anymore and still give information. Tomorrow, I am going to make. I have yet to spend any of my Rocky currency. Prize wall. I've spent all my Apollo, but not my Rocky. Prize wall expires, much longer. So tomorrow, I will record all the choices I make on my Rocky prize wall and try and walk through my decisions for that for you guys. I'll probably do that on stream. I'll also record the boss battle prep video because there's some good stuff coming there. Um, anyway, I hope this helped, guys. Probably about the best I can do in the time frame I had. I'm sure I missed something. Please don't take it as gospel. Do your research yourself as well. Um, Hopefully this just helped you out. Anyway, like, subscribe, and share because that really actually helps me out. And thanks for watching, guys, and good luck.